What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Four producers. There you go, baby.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm BKFC athlete Tate and you're watching Cage Side with Christopher James.
Hey, good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to Cage Side with Christopher James. I am Christopher James, and I am happy to be here with you guys tonight. It has been quite some time, so just give me a couple minutes to get my bearings, get my feet wet, and share this out to a bunch of different groups. I am happy to be here tonight. Didn't know if I was going to feel up to it, but I decided, let's give it a spin. Let's give it a run. Let's give it some pop, all the good stuff. So, let's see. So I'm just sharing this out to the group. So stand by for a minute, man. Let me get to the comments here. I'll read some comments here in just a second. But like I said, I am back. For you guys that keep up with me on Facebook, I've been going through some life stuff, some crazy life stuff, and just, trying to get my feet back under me, get my bearings, and, have some fun with you guys. So, let's see, Pure BKB, Bare Knuckle Fighting Unplugged. I think I hit them all that I want to hit right now. Oh, no, there's still more. Look at that. There's more popping up. All right, so we got them all. All right. So anyway, welcome to the show, boys and girls. Let's see. We got Justin. Man, Justin, how you doing, brother? Justin Sims, Emily Rose, Debbie Jean. Thank you for the love, man. I'm doing great. I am doing great. And if I start to cry tonight, just bear with me. But lots been going on. Let me get you caught up real quick. So life has punched me in the face numerous times over the last little bit. What's up, Michael? Just, changing in my career status as far as my regular job. I have my mother. Moved to town, and my mom and I don't have a great relationship, but she's old, and I'm doing my best to help take care of her as best as I can. It is definitely difficult. So, and then with my daughter and my grandson, they've been going through some stuff, finding a solid place to live down in Fort Myers. Everything just hit me all at once. And I was a mess. I was having to take anxiety medication, which I haven't had to take in a long time. And just dealing with it, and trying to, hit everything, head on and, forward facing. And, what's up, Garrett? What's up, Matt Quiggins? And it's been going on. Let's see. Started the end of February, ran me all through March and the beginning of April. But I had to be medicated. Today I am medication free. I've been off the meds for about 10 days. And, life has been okay for the most part. There's still some stuff that I'm dealing with, but, and I've been absent from doing my show. The thing I love the most is, talking about MMA and bare knuckle and fighting in general. And I just haven't had the desire to even pay attention to fights, to talk with people in the community. I have been sharing my plight via Facebook, and I've gotten a lot of support from people out there that, are friends or followers, or both, Sorry to hear that, Emily. So, I decided this morning when I woke up that I was going to do a show today, even if it's only for half an hour or so. I don't have any guests lined up. I am going to have Nate Shook, BKFC Matchmaker, joining us next week. He's going to be on a plane right now, traveling to the next event. BKFC is blowing up. So let's get into it right now. The big news. Well, actually, before I get into the big news of the day, something interesting I noticed at the last BKFC event in Fort Lauderdale was the absence of Scott Burt and the Police Gazette medals. From what I'm gathering, BKFC and the Police Gazette have parted company. Now, if I'm going to be honest here, and I always try to be honest with you guys, I never understood the affiliation between the two organizations. Police Gazette Boxing Corporation, we know they go back to, the 1800s with bare knuckle fighting, back in the day. And so I understand, why they wanted to get involved with BKFC. BKFC, I guess, wanted to add some credibility, if you will. And, I guess they thought, being the first big show that they were trying to be, that aligning themselves with the Police Gazette Boxing Corporation would be a good thing. My take is, I think both companies used each other a little bit to gain recognition. And if I'm being honest, like I said, I would be, I believe that Police Gazette benefited more from the relationship with BKFC than BKFC did from the relationship with the Police Gazette. BKFC has done some amazing things, and to be quite honest, they don't need, and if Scott Burt sees this, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I don't believe they need the Police Gazette to sanction anything. They can, BKFC has their own belts, and while the historic value of the Police Gazette belts isn't lost on anybody involved in bare knuckle, and excuse me, and I say that with respect to Police Gazette and the history of bare knuckle boxing in the United States, but BKFC doesn't need them. They need more BKFC more now than they ever did. They've aligned with BKB and BYB, which is great for them. But we have BKFC champions that have both belts in BKFC and Police Gazette, and those Police Gazette belts now mean nothing. They've been devalued immediately when the relationship ended. But there's some stuff that, like, the Police Gazette started to do that I felt was ridiculous. First of all, they have a Hall of Fame. Now, the Hall of Fame to me is supposed to be set for those, excuse me, that have achieved lifetime accomplishments inside the sport. No BKFC fighter at this point in time has achieved a lifetime full of accomplishments worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. I have no problem with them putting David Feldman in the Hall of Fame, because David Feldman did something amazing and brought BKFC to the forefront and brought bare knuckle fighting back to center stage. But other than David Feldman, and even that induction is, teetering for me. But the rest of them, the fighters that have gone in, I feel that was unnecessary. Jeff Houston, the ring announcer, went in after the first year of BKFC doing some shows. I felt that was ridiculous. And it's not a shot at Jeff Houston. It's just a shot. If I was the ring announcer for BKFC, and they gave me a Hall of Fame induction, yeah, that'd be cool, I guess. But it doesn't mean nothing, because if I had done, they're on their 20-something event. How is that a lifetime? I don't think it is. Scott was more interested about putting his face out there, putting the medals on these fighters, and, showing off his fucking shoes. That's what he did. And I like Scott. I'm not ripping on Scott. Scott likes to, have fun and show off his shoes. So please don't mistake my joking about him showing off his shoes for, ill will toward the man. He's been the protector of the Police Gazette, and he's done a good job at, keeping its name in the public, or bringing its name back to the public by affiliating with BKFC. So that's just it. I mean, it was, to me, it was a ridiculous relationship. And like I said, they both used each other a little bit, but Police Gazette definitely gained more from the relationship, as they've now partnered up with two other organizations. So it just, it is what it is, I guess. But for the fighters that didn't get medals at the last event, I think that kind of sucks, because they're so used to getting the medals. Although the medals are unnecessary, I mean, yeah. And if I'm going to be honest, because all these other fighters have gotten medals through the Police Gazette, and it's a cool token to have. It's a memorabilia from the night you fought. I get it, but it doesn't really mean anything, except it's a token of appreciation for fighting, I guess. The medals now are I guess part of history. The Police Gazette belts that are out there in BKFC are part of history because I guess in 7 months, if they're not defended, then they are going to be null and void. Now, unification bouts, could there be unification bouts between BYB, BKB, and BKFC to keep those Police Gazette belts alive? Possibly. But, and I think the reason the relationship went sour is over money, if I'm going to, throw it out there. I think that Scott Burt wanted to be paid to sanction these bouts. And I don't think David Feldman was going to do that, especially now with their affiliation with Triller. I just, the sanctioning body, yeah, we have commissions here in the United States. So each state has their own commission. They're the sanctioning body. Like in boxing, you have the WBO, the WBC, the IBF, the IBO, the WBO. I mean, there's so many sanctioning bodies, so many different belts out there. But they're not affiliated with one brand. They go where the money is, so, and I don't understand 100% how the sanctioning bodies work and how they make their money. So I don't want to delve too deeply into that because I feel that would be me speaking out of turn on something, so I know my friend Eric Kowal from My MMA News, who I love to death. If you guys don't follow My MMA News, you're missing out on the best site, best news. They're not as big as MMA Junkie. They're not as big as some of the other ones, but they are big. They do have a huge imprint, and you should really keep up with them. There's a lot of guys you see that have, elevated up, like Mike Heck Jr. has gone on to MMA fighting. But Mike Heck was part of My MMA News, and he does a phenomenal job. And I know Eric is proud of those that have gone on to different things. I know James Lynch has done some work for Eric as well. I'm actually, was interested in working with Eric as well. And who knows, maybe My MMA Show, which is my website, and my Twitter handle. Who knows, maybe My MMA Show will merge with My MMA News, or My MMA Show, Cage Star Christopher James, will be brought to you by My MMA News. I don't know, but I would love to work with Eric because he gets it. Real news, real reporting, no sugarcoating. And Eric's a lot of fun. And if you want to learn how to cook, follow Eric's page. So that's my take on the Hall of Fame, the Police Gazette Boxing Corporation. And I might reach out to Scott Burt next week and get him on the show just to see what his take is on all of it, and maybe we'll get David Feldman to come on. I don't know. We will work on those guests and bring them to you as they are available. Now, the big news, well, last week we had BKFC Fort Lauderdale. Frank Manchin, a.k.a. Frank Tate, went out there and did what nobody else has been able to do in BKFC, and that was knock out Joey Belcher. And he knocked him out clean. He knocked him out cold, flat on his back inside the squared circle of BKFC. It was incredible. Also on the night, Tom Schoaf came back and put on a show against Bruce Luke Medial. That was also awesome. Tom Schoaf, the gentleman Tom Schoaf. I love Tom Schoaf. If you don't love Tom Schoaf, there's something wrong with you. Oh, let me light up, by the way. Well, that feels good. So, Yeah, Michael, that would be great to get them on together and watch them have an online beef with each other. Not a big fan of Dasani, by the way, but it's what I had available to me today, so that's what I got. All right, so, and the reason I bring up Frank Tate and his big win, because nobody was able to knock out Joey Beltran up until that night. To answer the question of Forrest Daniels, what are we smoking tonight? Smoking a pre-roll, 31% THC. It's called apple juice, and it tastes yummy. So, as I was saying, on the heavyweight division, Frank Tate knocked out Beltran. He definitely wants his shot at the heavyweight championship of BKFC. But we do have a fight coming up in May. It's going to be Dylan Kleckler taking on the champ, Arnold Adams. Arnold Beaumier Adams versus Dylan Kleckler, the bad boy. This is a fight that's been talked about, been rumored to happen. It got held up, it got delayed, but the fight is finally going down. The contracts have been signed. The posters have been, released to the public. This fight is happening. Frank Tate wants his title shot. And in Frank Tate's last two fights, and there's been a year between his last two fights, by the way, he knocked out both number 1 and number 3, according to the rankings. I don't see any way to deny Frank Tate, who, by the way, is 46 years old, and I did not know that. I can't believe I didn't know he was that old. And he's not as old as me, but still, for combat sports, that's a little bit older. But as you see, Frank Tate doesn't play around. Frank Tate has fire in his hands. He has power. They say the last thing to go is power, and that boy has got power. Man. Because he caught him with a left hook, Beltran, that is, and then finished him with the right. But Beltran was done with the left hook that caught him. He was on his way down already, and the right hand just solidified that the fight was over. Kane Tomlinson, what's up there, Big KT? How you doing, brother? So, by the way, if any BKFC fighters are out there and you want to come on the show, let me know, and I might just send you a link to jump in with us. If I do send you a link, make sure you put on headphones so we don't get any echoes or vibrations. By the way, along with this joint that I'm smoking, so good. In the other room right now, I can smell it. If I smell what my wife is cooking, it's pulled pork. I'm going to fuck that shit up later on tonight, man. So let's roll back up here a little bit. So Frank Tate wants his title shot. And after Dylan and Arnold conduct business in May, Frank Tate has to be next. No matter who wins the fight, Dylan has a win against Frank Tate at BKFC. And Frank wants an opportunity to get that win back, and I understand why. But he got finished by Dylan Kleckler. So, before this fight was booked, people were talking about Frank Tate, but Frank Tate lost to Dylan, and which is why Dylan didn't get the shot. So, Michael, I'll answer that question for you in just a minute, okay, brother? So we have a heavyweight championship fight. We have a number 1 contender now outside of the guys that are already fighting in Frank Tate, because he is absolutely number 1. There's no way you could deny this man his title shot. But today, a big name signed with BKFC. Announced it on the Ariel Helwani MMA Hour this afternoon. Big Ben Rothwell signed with BKFC today. A 6-figure deal, 3 fights in. He said if he wins those 3 fights, that he's going to be a 7-figure fighter, which would be absolutely incredible. Now, a lot of people had different reactions to Big Ben signing. Some say the BKFC overpaid for a guy that is past his prime. And let me go back one step. People were also wondering what was the cause of Big Ben leaving the UFC. Big Ben asked for and was granted his release. He said he saw the writing on the wall. He felt the language of it. He knew that his end was coming, and he decided to, get out ahead of it and ask UFC to release him. So he was released, and I guess we were just waiting for him to clear the X amount of days before he could do other work with other promotions, and he cleared it, and now he's with BKFC. Now, Big Ben signed a huge contract. Mike Perry signed a huge contract. Paige Van Zandt signed $1 million contract. Millions of dollars in contracts. Chad Mendez signed a big contract. Said he made more, to do the one fight he's done than combined fights in the UFC. The BKFC is throwing a lot of money at a lot of former MMA stars. Now, the thing with Big Ben is, while Big Ben, he's always been, he's been a guy you want to watch fight. He's going to either kill or be killed in there. But now he's just stepping in to throw punches. His chin is a little suspect, in my opinion, especially now that the knuckles are exposed and he's going to be getting cracked with bare knuckles. But he's also a hard puzzle to solve. He's big. He knows how to protect his head, even though he doesn't always. But one of the reasons they signed him, obviously, he has name recognition. I don't know if he has the kind of a following that Mike Perry has. Mike Perry, in spite of some of the things that have happened with him over the years, has a huge social media following. People want to see him fight. Forrest, if you're still watching, maybe you can look that up for me in a comment here. Give me Big Ben's Twitter followers and Instagram followers if you could find that. That'd be awesome. I just want to see what kind of impact he has, because one of the things that BKFC looks at when they prepare a contract is your social media metrics. I know this because in dealing with them when I was working with Marcus Brimage, who, by the way, Marcus is now a member of GOAT Combat Agency. I did everything I could for Marcus, and he needed more work, and he needed somebody that had a little more savvy in working their way through the ropes of BKFC in the management area. And Scott Farley runs GOAT, and Scott Farley has two champions in his fold, Arnold Adams and Elvin Brito. So Scott, carries a little weight with BKFC, and Marcus will be just fine. I love Marcus Brimage. He's a dude. He's a friend. But he needed more from a manager than I was able to provide. He was the first person that gave me an opportunity to do it. I'm going to get back into it. But at a later date, I'm going to really, now that I'm changing my job from my regular DJ gigs, and I'm driving Uber full time, which is a hoot. But I am going to get back into management. I like it. I like, being able to help a fighter get what he needs. I just have to do a little more work and really, put some time in before I can, really be good at it. I need to intern under somebody. So who knows? We'll figure that out. But I know when they went to go look at Marcus and what they offered him for his contract, part of what, obviously the contract number is nobody's business but mine or Marcus's, really. It's not even my business, except that it was my job to get him the best contract I could. So one of the things they told me about why they paid him what they paid him was because of his social media metric. They have a process they go through, and they check out every fighter that joins the promotion, check out their social media. Now, with Big Ben, I don't know if that, the money is commensurate to his social media, because according to what I'm seeing here, Michael Hanowski just found out that Big Ben has 32,000 followers on Instagram, and Twitter, brought to us by Forrest Daniels, he has 31.6 thousand followers. So they're banking on his name recognition alone, because he doesn't have 31.6 on Twitter, 31.8 on Insta. Yeah, he doesn't have the social media following. I'm not saying that 31,000 isn't a respectable number. It is. But there are kids with channels that they have, and Twitters that they have, and all they do is demonstrate toys, and they've got 1 million followers. So, for somebody that's been around as long as Ben, you would figure social media would be more. Guys, give me Mike Perry, just for comparison, if you could. It's easier for you guys to do it and be involved in the show with me, which I love, by the way, and thanks for helping out, than it is for me to sometimes go try to look it up and get on all these pages myself. So you guys are like You guys are like my out of studio interns. I know the job pays shitty, but it's always appreciated. Maybe one day I'll be able to pay people to help me out and do this stuff. Um, you know, so Big Ben, while these guys are looking up Mike Perry's for me, Big Ben signed. So he's getting a 6-figure deal. I don't know how high in the 6 figures it is, but he said he'll go to 7 figures if he wins his next 3 fights. So, maybe it's an escalator, 3, 6, 9. I don't know, 300K, that could be it. But I'm going to guess he's probably, somewhere in the 100 to 200 range, because I know he wasn't getting that from the UFC. So anything, yeah. Mike has 614,000 on Insta, Mike Perry, that is, and 180,000 on Twitter. Those are really respectable numbers, and people like to watch Mike fight. People like to see Mike get beat up, but he's done a good job, at branding himself. And he continues to grow his social media. I don't know what he's got on TikTok. I don't know what, you only can have X amount. I don't know what's on his Facebook. His Facebook Platinum Mike Perry page isn't even blue check marked. So somebody should get on that for him and get a blue check mark, because he needs a blue check mark. And I mean, he is verified on Twitter, owned by Elon Musk, by the way. It happened. $44 billion. Wonder how long before, I'm not even going to say it, but it'll happen. I can't wait. Anyway, so Mike Perry, Mike Perry got a 6-figure payday from them as well. But Mike Perry's numbers, justify him getting that kind of salary from BKFC. He's an exciting fighter. He's still young. He's still in his prime. He's like 31 years old. He could do this for a while. He brings people in, and, he goes to action immediately. You owe me for that slap down in Miami. What are you talking about? Oh. Dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, the slap heard around the lobby. I was pissed. Didn't mean to do it, but sometimes shit happens. So, Big Ben signed. He said he's going to fight hopefully in June or July. Joe Mini Carter. What's up there? Mini Joe. DJ Mini C. I'm probably going to be doing some work with DJ Mini C, doing weddings here in the Tampa, Lakeland, area. I got to go down and hang out with Joe on one of these days when he's doing a wedding. But I just wanted to, take a little break from everything. That's why I'm driving Uber full time. Money's been good. Not as good as my DJ gig, but enough to do what I need to do. So, yep. But I'm 53, so making a career change is a little weird. When I don't have any background in any other stuff except being a DJ and being a ring announcer. I managed a little bit at a club as well. I could do that. But, I've been in the entertainment industry, pretty much my whole adult life. And it's funny. Yeah, Joe, that would be awesome. But it's funny, I was thinking about it. I posted about it on Facebook maybe a week or 10 days ago. Over my years of DJing and ring announcing fights, and that's not even including this because I can't see y'all. But just from DJing and ring announcing fights inside arenas with tons of people, I just want to say one thing. In the immortal words of John Bon Jovi, I seen a million faces and I rocked them all. 'Cause I'm a cowboy. Woo! All right, that's enough of that. But it's true. I've seen over a million faces and I've rocked them all. I've done my best to rock them all. And if I think about how many people have seen me, it's got to be, millions. Including the show, watching on TV, watching on Fight Pass. I've lived a very blessed life, and I don't ever take that for granted. It's awesome that I have the ability to do those things and be good at it. Thanks, Michael. All right, so anyway, so Big Ben, I get sidetracked a little bit tonight. My ADD is kicking. So Big Ben signs. Now he wants to fight in June or July. Now I know that he's probably not going to get one of the top guys to start out. Because for me, I'd like to see him fight Frank Tate right off the jump. They're paying him big money. Put him up at the top of the division, take on a banger, and let's see what he's got for the sport. Now that if Frank were to lose that fight, Frank could lose a potential title shot. I don't know how willing he would be to do that unless the money came up right. Because if they offer him big enough money, I think he might be willing to forego the title shot opportunity to take on the big new guy on the fucking block, in Big Ben Rothwell. Frank is not afraid of any man, he, like I said, he knocked out Joey Belcher and nobody has done. And when he was doing some MMA fighting, he also knocked out Austin Lane, who was on his way to the UFC, and Frank started the derailment of that train. But Austin is coming back, and I love Austin Lane. Ben versus Bobo. Is that the suggestion? I see two suggestions popping up. Zion Tomlinson Sr. He said, I'll sign to fight Big Ben. I love it, dude. And you know what, man? You're crazy enough son of a bitch to do it, too. So I totally believe you. Even with the laughing emojis on it, I still believe that you would actually do it if they offered it to you. Rothwell versus Alan Belcher. That could be an interesting fight. But Rothwell versus Bobo is the real fight, says Z, the Z-Man. Rothwell would be a good comeback fight for Joey Beltran, too. Yeah, that would be interesting. Joey's been to the big show. Rothwell obviously has been to the big show. So two guys, that did it, that didn't get to dance in one venue, may dance in another. Yeah, Z says, show me the money. I'll tell you. Rothwell versus Belcher, I like that. I know you'll fight anyone. But that'd be a good one. Rothwell versus Belcher or Rothwell versus Bobo. I don't know if the Bobo versus Rothwell thing. Well, you know what? Actually, I as I'm sitting there thinking about it right now, I like the matchup. Bobo's going to go out there and try to kill it. Bobo don't get scared under the big lights. Bobo ain't afraid to go out there and get popped in the grill. And Bobo's one hell of a dude. Now, if they offer him that fight, I'm hoping that BKFC will step up his pay, for that fight because, he's taking on a big name in Big Ben Rothwell and welcome him to the organization. Do you guys think, take all the opponents out that we've mentioned for a moment. Do you think that they would not give him one of the well-known guys that do, have knockouts on their record? Maybe not give him one of those well-known guys in his first dance. They gave Chad Mendez a rapper, right? Who's an accomplished, fighter. So when I say that, don't get me wrong, but the experience level was, night and day for these two guys. So I'm kind of expecting the same kind of booking for Big Ben. Now, Bobo makes sense, except for the fact that Bobo doesn't have the same experience level at all as Big Ben Rothwell, as far as, big shows, big fights. But it's really so hard when you really think about it. It's really a difficult fight to make. Do they give him one of the names we know already in BKFC, or do they give him an unknown? Give him that first easy test. Obviously you got to put him in there with somebody that you got to put him in there with somebody that can definitely knock his head off, you know. So, but maybe won't be nowhere near favored, but still has the ability to do it if he can land correctly, because, you know, it only takes one, especially up in the big heavyweight division. It only takes one big crack and fucking out go the lights. Michael says, Bobo deserves a big money fight. I agree. He also said, why do you say Mendez's win looks even worse after last weekend? You know, that would be a good one. Sign Greg Hardy and then book him versus Big Ben right off the jump. I like that idea. Yep, I like Greg Hardy. I know a lot of people bag on him for his luggage and his past and his baggage. I don't. Do I condone what happened? No. Do I know that's 100% fact of what happened, of what we got in the paper? No. So, but I met Greg Hardy. I sat with Greg Hardy. I interviewed Greg Hardy. And, you know, I pride myself on, you know, judging character in people. And anybody can make mistakes in life and deserve an opportunity to redeem themselves. And if you notice, you know, Greg Hardy hasn't gotten into any trouble. You know, he's being a model citizen, you know. You know, when he first, you know, was training and working his way to the UFC and getting to the UFC, he was living at American Top Team, not just training there. And when I say living, a lot of guys, you know, I live at the gym. He actually lived upstairs in the dorms. He didn't have to. Guy's fucking filthy rich. So, but he did it. You know, he committed himself. He dedicated himself. And, you know, for whatever mistakes he's made, you know, he's atoned to them at a level that he feels comfortable. I'm not his judge, jury, or executioner. I do like to watch the guy fight. It's a true story. But, yeah, sign Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy versus Big Ben. I'm digging that. But, Michael, why did you say that the Mendez win looks even worse after last weekend? What did I miss? I must have missed something there. So, Zion, when are you coming back? When are we going to see you get in the squared circle again? Or are you getting in the squared circle again? Feels good to be here, I'll tell you. You know, I was a little nervous tonight because I haven't done it in a while. Obviously, you know, it's like oh yeah, that's right. Fames did get beat again, but it doesn't look worse. Mendez still did what Mendez still did. You know, that's right. Fames did, you know, get beat. Can you tell us when you fight? You said real soon. What does that mean? Tomorrow, next week? Oh, 185, huh? I like it, man. I like it. 185. Has it been announced yet? You can't say anything, can you? I knew that's what you were going to say. Font beating Vera. You wrote "don't beat Vera" by second round. It was a typo. I was like, what? Font beating Vera. It's a good fight, man. You know, I just started to pay a little more attention back to the UFC and the fights area, the fights that are, you know, coming up. You know, I got to get a little caught up. But yeah, Font versus Vera. It's a good fight. You're saying Font beating Vera by a second round TKO. Okay, I got it now. That's definitely a possibility, man. Rob Font hits hard, and he's an accurate striker in my opinion. So precise, professional, he does it. You think he's fighting Ashali Hennessy, Virginia versus Louisiana? Vera by second round stoppage. What's up, Billy Rogers, my dude? Oh, by the way, Island Fights. I almost forgot, man. I almost forgot to talk about it. I'm glad. Island Fights coming up May 28th, Pensacola Bay Center, man. We had a show scheduled, but there was a lot of stuff going on, and we had to reschedule, and no big deal. You know, sometimes that happens. You know, you have to, reschedule to make sure you do it the right way. And, working with Dean Toole, he wants his events to be right. So if it wasn't going to be right, it's okay to, move the fight, 6 weeks. It's not even a big deal. You know what I mean? So they moved the fight 6 weeks. And we'll be there. It'll be streaming live on the Island Fights Facebook page, unless you're in Pensacola. Or it'll still be streaming for you guys as well. It will be behind a paywall, I believe. But man, Island Fights. Da, da, da. Remember when we had to do this? No more mask on airplanes. How happy is everybody? Yeah, I'll be working that night. That's what I just said, Forrest. How happy is everybody? We don't have to wear masks anymore on airplanes. I don't even have any place to go, but I want to just go waste money on a plane ticket and go somewhere just for a day, just to get on the plane without a mask. Just to say I did it. And no more masks required in Ubers either, for you guys out there that use Uber or drive Uber and you didn't know. Of course you know. It's big news. No more on airplanes, Z. That's correct. A judge here in Tampa, Florida, a federal judge overturned the CDC's mandate on mask wearing. I don't even remember all the reasons why, except that it was unconstitutional was one of them. And therefore, you can walk around the airport with no mask on. You can walk around an airplane with no mask on. Buses, trains, no mask required. Uber, no mask required anymore. So that's a good thing. My passengers enjoy that freedom. Did I mention Elon Musk bought Twitter? Heads are exploding all over the world today because of that. Because he's going to he's going to do some things that, the people on the left, they're exploding. There's some funny memes I posted up, and I'll post up a few more later on. But he's going to change it. He's going to give, people the right to speak, no matter what side of the argument they're speaking on. It's going to become a very interesting platform. So I've been on Twitter since like 2009. My Twitter sucks. That's why I don't have the big money contract. Don't know how to grow it right. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just a guy who can sit here and talk about fights and have a good time with people. Not sure on how to engage the social media better. I need a social media director that wants to work for free until they can monetize me, and then we'll fucking figure out the money side. Boy, wouldn't that be awesome if somebody was able to help me do that, monetize this thing, make it big. I'd be a happy son of a bitch. Zion wants Elon Musk to buy Facebook next so he can stay out of Facebook jail. Woo! Yeah, Zion's a repeat offender. He gets tossed off here. Not as much as Brandon Lambert gets tossed off, but Zion has a respectable time of being tossed. I think I've only been in Facebook jail once. I broke out. Nobody saw it coming. It was awesome. Surprised they haven't chased me down again. Well, boys and girls, I've had a huge blast tonight. Well-needed escape from the world to come here and hang out with you guys and speak on some things that I really enjoy. BKFC has a huge schedule coming up. They're going to London this summer. They've got like 3 shows. Pete Fogel gets banned a lot. There's no doubt. So I don't remember what I was just saying. Oh, I had a good time. I'm going to be working on doing the show again next Monday and get some guests on. Maybe we'll get Zion Tomlinson Sr. on. He probably won't be able to announce anything yet. I know they're sticklers about that. But maybe we'll just catch up with the young man. He's always fun to talk to. He's got a big personality. Maybe we'll ask him his opinions on some of these things going on at Bare Knuckle and some of the recent fights, and maybe he'll give us some breakdown. So, Z, maybe we'll set that up for you next Monday night. Michael, thank you so much. I need a lot of help, bro. Woo! Boo! I need a lot of help. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today and allow me to be a part of your lives and for you guys being a part of mine for just a little bit, man. It's absolutely awesome. It makes me feel so good. So next week, we'll have Nate Shook, the matchmaker for BKFC on. And I'll be reaching out to some other guests as well. You know, some you may have seen, some you may not have seen. Some I may have never had on the show. Just don't know. I have been out of touch for a little while. If you get out of touch for a little while, man, you know, it's almost like starting over. But I got to do what I got to do. So you guys have a great night. Again, thanks for being a part of this and for allowing me to be a part of your lives today. It means more to me right here than I can ever put into words. But that's it. We out of here. So until next time, I am Christopher James, and you have been Cage Side. Good night, everybody. What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
So it produces. There you go, baby.